If you've inherited a house in Minnesota and it's tied up in probate, the question you're going to take? The short answer is yes, you can absolutely sell the house if it's in probate in Minnesota. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, and if you go out of order, you can stall your own sale for months. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works, step by step in plain English. I'm Arne Johansson. I'm a realtor here in the Twin Cities, and I've helped a lot of families sell homes that are going through probate, including ones that needed work, which is where my construction background comes in. One important note before we start is I'm not an attorney, so this is just general information. It's not legal advice. For your exact situation, talk to a probate attorney. But if you're dealing with this right now and you just want help understanding your options and what the home is worth, there's a Calendly link in the description. Book a free call, no pressure, whether you're ready to list or you're just figuring out where to start. So let's start with the answer so you're not waiting on it. Yes, you can sell a house that's in probate in Minnesota. People hear the word probate and assume the house is frozen, locked up, untouchable until some long court process finishes. That's not true, but this is the whole video in one sentence. You can't sell it until the court has officially put someone in charge of the estate and give them the legal authority to sell. You can't just decide as the family that you're going to sell mom's house next week. Somebody has to be appointed first. So the real question isn't, can I sell it? It's what has to happen before I can. So let me walk. You open a probate case in the county where the person lived, and once everything is in order, so those letters are the single most important piece of paper in this whole process because they are your proof that you have legal authority to act for the estate, including the authority to sell the house. No letters, no sale. When you eventually go to closing, the title company is going to ask for certified copies of those court documents. So everything starts with getting appointed and getting your letters in hand. Now, here's the part that most people don't understand, and honestly, where I see families lose time. Minnesota has different types of probate. Formal probate, it's handled by a court registrar, usually no hearing, and it's used for straightforward, uncontested estates. In informal probate, once you're appointed, you generally can sell the house without going back to get separate court approval for the sale. That sounds great, but here's the catch nobody tells you. Minnesota law restricts how soon real estate can be sold in informal probate. There's a waiting period. So you need to sell. So if you need to sell the house quickly, say there's a mortgage to keep paying or the family needs the money, informal probate can actually slow you down. In this situation, a formal unsupervised probate is often the better path because it can let you move faster on the sale. That's the kind of thing that a good probate attorney will steer you on, and it's exactly why you don't want to just default to the cheapest, simplest option without thinking about your timelines. Probate. This is where the court stays involved and has to approve the big moves and to keep a close eye on things, like a concern about how the estate is being managed. If you're in a supervised probate, you can still sell. You just need the quarterly, which type of probate you're in, because it tells you whether you can sell on your own authority or whether the court has to bless the sale first. So let's say you're appointed, you've got your letters, and you're clear to sell. What does the actual sale look like? You market it, you take offers, and you negotiate. The difference are mostly on the paperwork side. You sign the documents as the personal representative of the estate, not as a regular owner, and the home is transferred using what is called a personal. Provide copies of your court documents at closing to confirm you had the authority to sell. One more Minnesota specific wrinkle is If the property is what's called Torrance property, a certain kind of registered title, that's an extra approval step to get the deed recorded. Your title company and attorney will handle that, but it's good to know it exists so it doesn't surprise you. So here's something a lot of heirs get wrong, and it matters. When the house sells, that money does not go straight into your pocket. The proceeds go into the estate, and the estate has to take care of its obligations first. That means valid debts and creditor claims and any taxes the estate owes. In Minnesota, after probate opens, creditors generally have about 4 months to file claims, and then whatever's left over gets distributed to the heirs according to the will or according to Minnesota law if there wasn't a will. When several siblings or relatives inherit a house, the personal much that conflict can push you out of a simple informal probate and into a formal or even supervised one that adds months. If that's your situation, get ahead of it. Get everyone in the same room early and lean on professionals to keep it neutral. The other snag are usually paperwork, missing a actually issued. Do it in the right order, and most of these things never come up. So, if you're sitting there with an inherited house and you want to sell, here's your order of operations. If it was held in joint tenancy or there was a transfer on death deed or a trust, you may be able to skip this entirely. I made a whole separate video on that and I'll point you to it. Second, talk to a probate attorney and get the case opened and yourself appointed and ask them specifically which type of probate fits your timeline. Third, and this is where I come in, bring a real estate agent who has actually handled probate sales, ideally before you're fully appointed, so you're ready to move the moment you get months of time. So, can I sell a house in probate? Yes, you can. You need to get appointed, get your letters, and know which type of probate you're in and do things in the right order. I know it's a lot when you're already in a specific situation with someone who's done this many times. No pressure, no obligation. Book a free call with the Calendly link in the description, and I'll help you map out your next step and what the home is worth. If you haven't seen it yet, watch my video on what happens to a house when someone dies in Minnesota. It explains whether you even need probate in the first place, and it's the perfect companion to exactly these situations. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.